Hello, my name is Ecalo Herod, and this is the Future Fiction Academy, and welcome to class. So, what we're doing today is we're checking out Gemini 2.5 Pro. We are going to just ideate and then maybe create a short story. And then, after we create the short story, we're going to have Gemini analyze the story. And then, after we have it analyze the story, we're going to see if we can get it to write a better one. All right. Let's jump right in. Okay, we are here inside of Gemini. We're going to do the chat interface so that this is all in the same chat. It all happens at the exact same time. If I wanted to, I could take all of this information and break it out into a canvas or something like that. Let's see here. Canvas. So if I wanted to, I clicked on down here. Whoops, there it is. I click down here on Canvas. I can break that out into a side panel so that I can work on something actually typing into it myself. Otherwise, I won't have any effect on the chat. So I'm going to keep that open. Actually, no, I'm not. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. For a Chemistry 101 video, write a screenplay for a Chemistry 101 video. That's actually very cool. I've never even thought about that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn on Canvas and we're going to have a conversation. Why don't we? Hello, how are you today? So what I want to do is I want to ideate on some science fiction short story ideas that could possibly lead to some type of larger universe. So first off, I want you to give me 7 really good ideas that all have to do with the Earth in present day being thrust into a greater galactic community. And for some odd reason, us being the 8 brains that we thrive. Okay, so now that we've got this cooking, it's actually thinking, it's coming up with, ooh, look at this. And it broke it all out into a canvas. And so now I actually have the ability to edit this if I want to. Now, if I wanted to, I could build on top of this, create something new based on this, like a audio overview, a web app, or a timeline. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could go up here, click on this, go right in here, make it a web page, make it an infographic, which is an interesting idea. I could make it a quiz. Teachers, they've got themselves a easy world to live in. I could also make it an audio overview. Audio overviews are those podcasts. So you can take large pieces of information and make that information into something very digestible in like 5 to 7 minutes, all the way up to 20, if I'm not mistaken. We are at the Cosmic Lottery winners. All right, so Cosmic Lottery winners. Earth is discovered from through a random galactic survey, a sort of cosmic census. It turns out chaotic, unpredictable, and highly adaptable nature. And highly adaptable nature is rare and surprisingly valuable commodity in the galaxy, largely dominated by hyperlogical, specialized, or hive mind species. Human creativity, our penchant for improvisation, and even our ambition, seen as a chaotic flaw by some, become highly sought after for roles others can't or won't fill. Think troubleshooting ancient alien tech with duct tape and hope, or navigating complex diplomatic situations where pure logic fails. Thriving mechanism. Our flaws, unpredictability, emotional reasoning are our unique strengths. Accidental, and let's see. All right. Let's go to accidental apex diplomats. First contact is tense, almost hostile. An established alien empire seeing us as primitive, attempt to supply or not to. What is that? Am I saying? Am I crazy? That doesn't. Anyway, an attempt to subjugate or not to subjugate is what it really wants to say. Manipulate Earth into a subservient role. However, humanity's sheer diversity of thought, our messy but robust political systems, every nation for itself, then suddenly a united front and an uncanny ability to find common ground through shared, often illogical cultural touchstones like a universal beloved Earth pop song completely baffles the rigid hierarchical aliens. We don't just negotiate, we charm, confuse, and ultimately outmaneuver them into favorable treaties, becoming the galaxy's most unpredictable but effective mediators. Thriving mechanism, social complexity, and unexpected unity. That's pretty good. Okay. See, this is wow, this is actually really good. I actually put this exact same scenario to chat gpt, and let's just say it didn't come out quite as coherently interesting. The universal storytellers, a benevolent, incredibly ancient species, makes peaceful contact, gifting humanity advanced but neutral technology, including near perfect universal translation. Suddenly, Earth's millennia of diverse myths, legends, art, music, and literature become a massive untapped spring well of new narratives and emotional experiences for a galactic community that has, in many ways, seen it all or become culturally stagnant. Human artists, writers, musicians, and even historians become intergalactic sensations, their primitive perspectives offering fresh insight into universal themes. Thriving mechanism, cultural richness, and the power of narrative. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Galactic problem solvers by breaking things. Earth is technologically far behind. However, we excel at deconstruction, reverse engineering, and finding unorthodox solutions precisely because we don't always follow the manual. When a galaxy-wide technological plague or an inscrutable ancient alien device stumps the most advanced minds, humans, with their willingness to experiment, take risks, and hit it with a wrench, stumble upon solutions no one else conceived, we become the specialist you call when everything else has failed. The galactic equivalent of chaotic good IT department. Ooh, that's probably a good name for it. Thriving mechanisms, ingenuity born from a lack of preconceived notions and a willingness to experiment and fail, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's still a couple of them: the adaptive edge and masters of the gray area. Oh, that sounds good. Okay, we got to read that one. Masters of the gray area. The galactic community operates on strict codes, laws, and clearly defined ethics. Humans, with our long history of navigating moral ambiguities, complex social contracts, and bending the rules for the greater good, or just for ourselves, find a niche in the galaxy underworld or in ethically murky but necessary profession. We become the spies, the smugglers of ideas or rare goods, the negotiators in stalemates, the ones who can operate in the shades of gray that more rigid societies cannot comprehend or tolerate. Thriving mechanism, comfort with ambiguity and a flexibility, sometimes too flexible, moral compass. And then the joyful contagion. Oh, in a galaxy where many advanced species have perhaps optimize joy, passion, and spontaneity out of their existence in favor of efficiency and high consciousness. Human enthusiasm, our capacity for intense joy, our love for celebration, play, and even pointless hobbies become infectious. Earth becomes a cultural hub for not just for art, but for experiences. Alien tourists flock to Earth to feel something raw and unfiltered, and human experience consultants are hired to bring a spark back to more staid societies. Thriving mechanism, unbridled emotional expression, and a zest for life. Now that we have our kind of idea of the things that we want to do, I think I'm going to pick the first one. I know I read all those, so I'm going to pick the first one, and that's probably the one that'll end up in the video anyway. So, yeah, I'm picking the first one. And if I pick the first one, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to close this, and I'm going to say, now it'll look at that and it'll start thinking automatically, which is actually really cool that it does that so quickly. Let's just make this bigger so that you all can see what I'm seeing. Cosmic lottery winners, it is. Let's see, the idea of our beautiful, chaotic mess being exactly what the galaxy needs is inherently fun. What aspect of, you know what? Let's give it some parameters. So let's say that it's a comedy, or let's say it's a dramedy. So it's funny, it's dramatic, but it's pretty daggone funny too because of situational comedy. That's what's probably going to happen. So let's see here. Let's read this. What aspects of this sparks your interest in the most right now? We could brainstorm the discovery moment, the valuable commodity. What specific roles are humans excelling at that hyperlogical can't handle troubleshooting? Okay, let's. Who are the first humans recruited to make names for themselves? Make a name for themselves as newly galactic order. Are they the scientists? Let's go with the unconventional sort of individual. They can have military backgrounds if they want, but they should have a healthy dose of entrepreneurial spirit. It's the discipline and the incredibly wickedly smart brain of one or two individuals that stand out in expeditions and stuff like that that they take out there. So let's go with archetypes of characters. Let's also think about the moment we're discovered. So I want this story to be, I want it to kind of take place over 5,000 words, and I want it to be about first contact when Earth, or maybe some main character, figures out that they can make a lot of money in the universe. All right, it's thinking. What's interesting about this is if I wanted to, I could look at the summary of what it's thinking. It says it's considering. I'm now zeroing in on character archetypes, stuff like that, expanding things, analyzing stuff. So it's still thinking before it even gets to the good part where it actually tells you what it wants to do. Okay, this is what it wants to do. Commander Rex Thorn, Maverick engineer, reluctant leader. Aris Thorn, oh, sibling. Discovery moment, initial story. The survey is sleek, featureless. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay. I want you to write me a comprehensive plan to write this as a narrative. It needs to be detailed. It needs to all be wrapped up in 5,000 words. Do me a favor, start the whole thing in media res. I want to be in the middle of the action of whatever you're going to come up with right off the bat. Now it's going to write the story's plan. You know what? Let's take a look and see what the thinking is saying here. I'm starting to build a detailed narrative plan for the cosmic lottery winners. My focus is on ensuring the story's conclusion feels satisfying within 5,000 word limit. I'm outlining key, and then it's outlining the beats and all of this stuff. And now it looks like it's done. Is it done thinking? And it looks like it's, oh, looks like it's, nope, it's not thinking anymore. It's actually writing out the plan. And what we're going to do is then take this, read let's say the first 3 or 4 paragraphs, and then we'll call that that. Let's see here. Wow, this is really okay. All right. All right. What I want you to do is follow those instructions that you just wrote out and give it to me in third person, limited perspective. And I want you to keep the pace up. And if there are any ends to scenes, make sure that you can build in as many cliffhangers as feasible. I don't want it to go over the top. And remember, you're ending the story not on a cliffhanger. Let's do this. Write that chapter. Actually, write that whole story for me. All right. And while that's churning, let's see here. Thorn. Is that a common thing, Thorn? I'm assuming it is. All right. Let's take a quick peek at this. The alien cable bucked in Rex's grip like a python with a bad attitude, its slick obsidian surface unexpectedly warm against his heavily gloved hands. A shower of acrid, ozone scented sparks erupted from the human made breaker box he was wrestling it towards. A comically primitive contraption of salvaged copper and ceramic that looked like a museum piece next to the Xylus probe. Why has everything got to end with a begin with an X? Probe's seamless technology. Around him, the cramped interface station he'd jerry-rigged inside the long shot hummed with a disquieting energy. The subtle, insistent thrum of an alien machine on the verge of a very expensive, very brief tantrum. Eris, tell me that energy spike isn't what I think it is, Rex grunted, his voice tight uh, in the comms, amplified slightly by the helmet of his light EVA suit. He spared a glance at the main screen where alien glyphs danced in patterns he was beginning to loathe. It's a resonant cascade of the primary psionic Matrix, Rex, Eris's voice, usually a bedrock of calm, carried a faint tremor. She was back in the long shot's slightly more spacious cockpit, monitoring the vital signs of both their ship and the colossal boomerang-shaped alien probe that had precariously tethered to. Woo, that's hard. Unit 734 says their logic dictates a containment field failure in 82 seconds. After that, brace for what they called localized reality distortion event. Rex gritted his teeth. Distortion sounds roomy. Can't be worse than my last landlord's interpretation of habitable. He braced his boots against a support strut, leveraging his weight. Their logic can take a long walk off a short pier. If I shunt power around the damaged regulator and directly into the tertiary manifold, it should create a harmonic dampener. He grunted with the effort of forcing the thick cable towards the waiting terminal. You know, a small black hole 50-50. That's pretty funny. Their simulations show a 98.7 chance of catastrophic failure with that method, Rex. The manifold isn't rated for raw power feed. Yeah, well, their simulations didn't account for a thorn with a crowbar, for a thorn with a crowbar, and a healthy disregard for the impossible. He muttered, more to himself than to her. The final itch felt like a felt like the final inch felt like a mile. His muscles screamed. The breaker box groaned under the strain. Almost got it there. With a jarring thunk, the alien connector slammed home into the oversized socket he'd welded. A blinding flash erupted, not just sparks this time, but a violent blue-white discharge that threw him back across the bulkhead. The insistent hum of the probe spiked into a threatening energy whine that vibrated through his bones, his teeth, his very soul. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it was over. Silence. Profound, absolute, and terrifyingly complete. Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, that thorn thing, that's pretty funny. It's the Xylo thing. I'm always like, why is it always got to be a Xylo? Why is it always got to be a Xylo? I don't know. Anyway, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is 2.5 in a nutshell. I if I do say so myself, am impressed. I am impressed. It had great ideas for stories. It had great, so the ideation is feels like it's a step up, and it even feels like, I don't know, like it writes a little bit better. That can't be. Anyway, my name's Ekel O'Haron. This has been the Future Fiction Factory. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, check all of those bells, ding, 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 all of them, because YouTube likes to YouTube. And I'll see you all in class.